Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the medicine garden and I am gonna get started on a really fun project that I've never done before, but thank you internet for sharing these fun things that we can do in our garden. And something that I saw recently was creating a garland of zinnias that can be dried and just hung for decoration or put on a winter holiday tree later in the season, and just a really fun way to preserve our zinnias. And I'm kind of excited to see how it works. So my understanding is we're gonna have a needle, and I chose these yarn needles because I felt like they might be a little more gentle on the flower than, I don't know, maybe a fine needle would be just as easy. I just want to play with it. I wanted to be able to clearly see what I was doing with the big flower and not have to be worried about the little tiny needle. And then I'm going to use some fishing line, and this is an old reel that Spencer handed off to me with some old fishing line that I've just been using until it's gone. So I've got some fishing line here. I'm going to attach it to a needle, and what I'm going to do is cut the zinnia right below its, like right at the top of the stem. I'll also be using calendula. So I have a lot more calendula than I do zinnias in the garden this year. So I'm going to be using both alternatively. But basically what we want to do is cut it right below this green piece, and then we're going to pierce it right there and string them all along, and then they'll just be like this beautiful. You could also, I think I'm going to play with a couple different ways and pierce it through this way so that it sits like this on a string so that all the flowers are facing out. But it's also kind of fun where it's all like really tight up against each other and you're just seeing the outer rim. So we're going to play with both directions and see how far we could get. I think what I'm going to do is go around and cut all my flowers and fill this bowl up, and then I'll start stringing them together and we'll play with it that way. Sound fun? It's just a way for me to take it slow on a Monday morning, and it's kind of mindless and mindful practice where I'm just very present with the moment, and it's a little bit of a meditation to just go through and methodically glean all these beautiful blossoms, string them together, and create something magical. All right, I went into my back garden and found some more things to try. I think we'll just move this over here. Okay, here's the collection we're gonna start with. We've got amaranth and echinacea that's a little spent, but I just want to see how it does. Several different calendulas, some zinnias. We've got more of a orange calendula, and then we have like this rose gold kind of calendula and this more yellowy one. I picked a dahlia, but already it's lost petals, so I don't think that's gonna work. I thought maybe like a single petal or close to a single petal might dry, but I don't think that's gonna hack it. This bright magenta one. So I think what I'm gonna do actually is separate them out by color so that I can have an idea of how I want to string them, if I want to make them balanced and they're not just like really clumped anywhere. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, see the little color palette here? We've got a lot of this rose gold tone up into more of a pink magenta vibe, and then sort of yellows, oranges, reds, and a little bit of white. So I feel like now I have a good idea of what I'm working with here. Just come all the way through. Yay. Okay, just happened. Okay, so I think maybe that's why they just stick it all the way through this pollen area. So that I can hang it when we're done. Like that. I think what I'm gonna do is start with the couple that I don't think are going to work that well. So if I need to cut them out, well, it won't be as obvious. Maybe I'll start and end with the two that I think are gonna probably not hang. One is this echinacea, not because I don't think that echinacea will dry nicely, but just because the harvest time on this is like, this would have been deadheaded normally, and I don't have any other ones in bloom yet, and I just really want to try it. So we're gonna start with this one, and I'm just gonna like string it down a little ways. Okay, then I'm just gonna start rolling with that, I guess. So I'm just sticking it through the center and out the stem. And it'll just kind of hang right up against each other like this, I think. Yay! Did it! Oh, this one's doing its thing. Okay, hold on. And then this side is... All right, well, that was really fun. This one already fell off. Those every couple of sea-thrifts. You know, like every 4 or 5. There's not like a really different types of calendula and zinnias. Needle just to have like this cohesive through the center. It's like a bunch of little individual flowers. So they just kind of fall apart. It's really exciting. So I think that what I want to learn, and then I couldn't. What I want to really do is figure out like exactly how to add these at each end. So that maybe we just tie them on at the end so that they drape like where we want them. But overall, pretty simple, and we can just keep adding on to this line. You know, I've lost another piece on and keep stringing. I don't think the other two will stay on there. I could see the other one slipping. It's so fun and colorful and beautiful. But and what I was going to show you is I had switched directions. You can see how these two are facing opposite directions. I had a little white ball like this one in between to not show that junction. But I could tie like an amaranth or something right there, or a ribbon. But this is just so that the flowers, that's a traditional way of doing a garland, where one side so that they all hang the same. If I wanted to drape them like on a mantle, so they can dry, or over a door frame or something like that, they would all be adding on facing the season. In this case, all facing down, but I could have faced them all up. But yeah, so if you just switch directions, you can do it that way, or you could just keep it going in one direction. That's totally fine. Super fun. Okay, so let's go hang this up somewhere so they can dry. Mondays are always hard to film because the garbage and recycling is going back and forth on the street. That won't benefit. I have some more deadheading to do that won't benefit from drying, but it's just that time of the season where I need to do some deadheading. So this was a fun way to use up blooms that are still looking pretty good, but I know that if I cut them now, I can encourage all the branching and more blooms to go. So that's what I did with the Calendula and Zinnias, but I've got a bunch of columbine to deadhead and snapdragons and lupin and all kinds of other fun things. So, and those are just looking like gone to seed or just looking really sad, and they just need to be composted at this point. Alright, so we have like this little wire up here that we've hung dried herbs and things from before, but this is even more ideal because it's so exposed to the elements. I don't really like to use it for herbs, but dried flowers, that's perfect. And it looks so sweet up there. And there's plenty of room for adjustment. It can hang down low. Now I'm curious about what other flowers I could use. I'm wondering if I can use daisies. So I'm gonna do like just a short little chain of like a dozen daisies and just see how they dry. Because I have so many daisies. And the other one that would be really fun is a hydrangea chain. And I have dozens and dozens of hydrangeas too, so that would be really fun to like do a whole doorway garland of dried hydrangeas. So I'm gonna try those two and just see how they do. All right. Typically when I dry hydrangeas, I put them in a little bit of water and let them soak up the water
space, so I just
as they're drying,
around,
and that helps them keep their form a little better. Opposed to when I just let them dry, they tend to crumble
to see how
faster.
They do hanging in air.
But I'm gonna see if they're hanging like this and like not touching anything and just air drying.
Daisies,
is that
Shasta daisies?
Would that work?
I did half a dozen.
I don't know. We're gonna play with this idea. I had a lot of fun making it. It was like really sweet and simple and just relaxing to do. And we're gonna just keep playing with different flower garlands now that I know about them and know how to do them. And
or the oxalis daisies, just to see if either one
If you remember last year, I grew all
maybe those, or maybe neither. I don't know.
cut flowers
felt
that can
like
be dried,
these
and I
needed
have
to
a
be,
whole
separated a little bit.
hanging
So I
ceiling full of dried
that they
flowers
had
still
some
from last
airflow
year.
between them.
But the ones
know
that I
why, that
cut
was
today,
just my
I cut with
instinct.
the idea